Hey folks, well welcome to my improvised studio, also known as my living room. Coming to you directly from my recliner. Uh, I thought up an idea for a video series to do, and as a lot of stuff goes on my channel, it's going to be about cars and trucks, and specifically what it's going to be about is I'm going to give you some recommendations about how to buy a cheap used car. And what I term a cheap used car is something we'll say $5,000 and under. That's pretty, for a car that's usable. That's pretty cheap as far as cars go these days. You know, when you can buy a new car for $30,000, $40,000, $5,000 is probably where I would draw the line on cheap. And if you've watched my channel enough, you probably noticed I've bought and sold many used cars and trucks, and so I've got a lot of experience dealing with different kinds, different makes and models, and things of that nature. And I do a lot of research on the internet as far as looking at reviews of used cars and repair histories and known problems and things like that. So I've got quite a bit of information about how to avoid getting into something that's going to be a real money pit. And I guess you could say there's a lot of junk out there, and there's a fair amount of really good cars and trucks. And we're not going to concentrate so much on trucks on this, on these segments. I guess you would say, or vans or anything like that. We're not going to go into really strange things like low production, that kind of thing. There are some rare cars out there that are cheap, but there's usually a reason they're cheap, and they're usually not something that normally a person would buy, just as a daily driver or a used car or something of that nature. So hopefully we're going to do this. We're going to do it mostly by make, and I'm just going to give you kind of an overview. We're not going to cover every model of every make. We're just going to cover some of probably the high points of each manufacturer and the low points, trying to show you what to avoid. Cars, trucks, like I said, got known problems, and there's some really bad ones, and there's some really good cars and trucks. So that's what we're going to do on this series. And let me just go ahead and warn you ahead of time, this is not going to be a forum for arguments about which model's better, which make's better. Ford versus Chevy versus Dodge versus Toyota versus Honda. We're not going to get into that. So please don't start arguments and debates and things like that in the comments, because if it gets out of control, I have to moderate the comments, or I have to close the comments down, and I don't want to do that, because I believe in freedom of speech very strongly, and I like for you guys to be able to comment, but don't turn it argumentative and accusatory and that sort of thing. That's not what this is for. This is just giving people that might be shopping for a used car or truck some advice. So let's get to it. And I don't edit any videos. I don't like to edit videos, so you will see me doing this a lot. So let's get started.